we've got Peter Doocy, and he is scrutinizing this whole border situation. He's not letting up because the Democrats want you to forget about it. They're trying their darndest to help you, to make you forget about it. And it's not working because it's not going away. They're trying to entice you with sex scandals of Matt Gaetz and all these other, infrastructure packages, which are going to fundamentally change the way that we look at the United States of America. Meanwhile, they're ignoring one of the biggest problems, which is the hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants, mostly children, who are coming over the border or are being tossed into the river or are simply just being dumped over a very tall wall into the desert in the middle of the night with hopes that they will one day be okay. And that is kind of sickening. Also, not the way you want to inspire people to have immigration, and 100% Joe Biden's problem. But as Joe Biden and the Democrats do with their problems, they just ignored it. Peter Doocy, however, did not.
Has the White House considered beefing up border security now that there is video of a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old being thrown over the wall in New Mexico?
A 3-year-old and a 5-year-old and there's video, which you can, if you haven't seen it yet, you can Google it. It's been around for a couple days. But it's video of a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old caught on surveillance. The whoever has brought them up to the top of the wall. And since they can't get over, they just kind of drop them down the wall and leave them there. They don't know if they're injured or whatnot. I mean, it's a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old. And this wall is 25 feet tall. The Border Patrol came and rescued them. There was the other incident of the child who was thrown 6 months old, thrown in the river by the people, by the smugglers or the traffickers or whomever, the cartel, and they had to also be rescued by the Border Patrol, who, let's face it, they take it for granted are going to rescue these kids and bring them up in the United States of America. So Peter Doocy's question is, now that we have video evidence of the horrible things that are happening to kids, are you going to beef up border security? And listen to Jen Psaki.
Beefing up border security.
There are.
Look, listen. Before, doesn't she sound confused? He goes, "Are you going to beef up border?" She's like, I don't understand. Beef up border security?
Beefing up border security.
There's video now of a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old.
I've seen the video, and I think any of us who saw the video were incredibly alarmed by the steps of smugglers, ones that we have been quite familiar with, that we've spoken out about our concerns about. As Secretary Mayorkas said, the inhumane way smugglers abuse children while profiting off parents' desperation is criminal and morally reprehensible.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's pause that for 1 second. So Mayorkas, Secretary Mayorkas, the Secretary of Homeland Security, he says this is reprehensible and criminal. And Peter Doocy says, great, so are you going to beef up border security because these people are breaking the law? They're criminals. Why aren't you going out and arresting them? If Mayorkas says these actions are criminal actions, these smugglers are criminals, they are preying on parents' hopes and dreams. They're taking money and they're dumping these kids over the border wall. And that is not something that is morally reprehensible and also criminal. But are they beefing up border security? Notice she hasn't answered that yet, nor does she.
These kids, I believe, were rescued by individuals who are working at the border.
Okay, great. Thank you. We know what happened. We know what happened. We're not asking you what happened. In fact, if you go back to the question, Peter Doocy said, we know what's happening. The smugglers are dropping kids over the border. The Border Patrol comes and rescues them. But it's a 3- and a 5-year-old, and they're being tossed over a 25-foot wall approximately. Are you going to beef up security? She still doesn't answer the question, so he comes back.
Yes, but they still got close enough, as you guys are talking about addressing root causes in the region, for a smuggler to throw them over a wall into the desert. And I'm just curious what the White House is doing to stop that from happening.
And are you concerned more about the kids' safety, or are you concerned about kids getting in, or telling them? What
are you? I mean, that is such a snarky question and a reaction to a legitimate concern from a reporter. What are you doing to keep smugglers from tossing little children over walls into America without any concern for their safety or well-being, or whether or not they survive the fall? I mean, this is, and she goes, wait, why are you asking me this? Are you concerned about the children's safety, or are you just worried that they're getting in? Who cares? What are you doing about the problem? The concern isn't the problem. It's not why are you asking the question. It's why aren't you answering it?
Tell me more about your concern here.
Kids' safety is, as you just mentioned, the main concern.
Well, of course it is, which is why I'm often surprised by some of the line of questioning in here.
Oh, she's such an arrogant person. We'll go with that. Anyway, here's her answer to the question.
I will say that Our concern and our focus is on sending a clear message to the region that this is not the time to come. You should not send your kids on this treacherous journey, that these smugglers are preying on vulnerabilities in these communities. There's a lot of issues and steps we need to take to address root causes. So, of course, our concern is for the safety of these kids. These Border Patrol agents who save these kids deserve our thanks and our gratitude for ensuring their safety.
These Border Patrol agents are being put in a position to rescue children. Children, the only reason they're here is because Joe Biden has been sending the message that it's time to come. She's saying we're sending a message that now's not the time to come. That's BS. I listened to Joe Biden's press conference last week. I had no choice. It interrupted my show. And he said, we are not turning away children. If children come here, we're going to let them in. If you're 18 years of age and older, or if you're a family, we're going to send you away. That's also a lie. But he was basically telling people how to get your kids into the United States of America. Make sure they come with some kind of phone number in their pocket, tattooed to their forehead, in their hat, whatever. And because we have people that are diligently calling now and trying to find relatives in the United States that can come and care for them. It was an instruction manual for parents to get their kids into the United States. And what that does is it entices parents to go find these criminals, these smugglers, these traffickers, these cartel members, these criminals, these really just not very nice people, to take the money from the parents, take the 3 and 5-year-olds, dump them over the wall, and then leave. And that doesn't help the children. It doesn't help the border agents. It doesn't help the United States of America. The only people it really helps are the smugglers.